Hi YouTube besties, and welcome back to my houseplant vlog. So I've taken the summer off for what we might ingratiatingly call a mid-season hiatus, but now that growing season is firmly over and the responsibilities of actual plant care are diminishing as we move towards winter, I'm hoping to get into a more regular rhythm of recording these things again. So I may be going a bit dark with today's theme, but I wanted to talk about sadness and what it's like to experience sadness when you're a plant dad. I know this is supposed to be a lighthearted vlog, so I'll make sure things don't get too serious or dark. We can keep things more dark adjacent or maybe sardonic. I mean, at least that's the aim, no guarantees. So first things first, I'm not really qualified to talk about my own emotions, let alone mental health. Which is why I'm using the sort of purposefully oblique, broad, if awkward term, sad, to describe my low spirits here. I mean, I generally self-ID as melancholic, but that may be too extra even for plant YouTube. I want to start off by being very clear, especially to any family or friends that may be watching this, that in general, I'm at a very good place in my life right now. I am content with my standard of living, I am happy with my interpersonal relationships, and for a variety of reasons, I feel very fulfilled. But there are times when I'm depressed. Depressed enough that getting out of bed can be extraordinarily challenging. Depressed enough that basic tasks, chores, errands become near impossibilities for me, sometimes for days at a time. And when this happens, it goes without saying that the consequences for my plants can be catastrophic. The reality is that one's relationships with one's plants, even if one does not delusionally anthropomorphize all of their plants, is similar to one's actual human interpersonal relationships. They can be a safety net and a way to uplift us in hard times, but they can also be a source of guilt as they suffer the consequences of our neglect. There's a certain geometry of unhealthy plants, like an unmistakable silhouette of a living thing that is clearly parched and wilting, that you can recognize from even across a dimly lit room. When one allows trash or dirty dishes to build up in one's living room, say, there's a very real sense in which unhealthy plants can join and contribute to a sort of radiophysiology of mess that can really turn one's home into a pit of despair. At the same time, just as cleaning up one's room or taking out the trash, so to speak, can be a small but powerful way to forcefully reclaim one's life from the doldrums, so too can helping to revive a struggling plant. Indeed, the very act of cutting off dead leaves feels like the proverbial cutting out of toxic things or people from one's life. And while this is obviously the stuff of insufferable early 2010s millennial inspirational quotes, it can be useful to revert back to things like that in tough times. I know that I roll my eyes at chuggy millennial culture a lot. It's only because deep down I'm actually the voice of my generation. Sometimes plants die though. And when it happens, as it does every so often, because of my neglect, the feelings of guilt can be overwhelming. I'm not going to go into a whole tirade right now about plant death and grief. I'll save that for another vlog when I'm ready to commit to a more literary register, or at least like NPR style hushed whispered tones. But when you name your plants and then let them die, the pain is unbearable. Like, I killed my Xanadu philodendron. I killed Nicasia. What do we do when this happens? I start by reminding myself that plants die. As a plant dad, if I didn't accept this fact, I would drive myself insane. If we're being completely honest, I think one of my plants was already dead by the time of my first vlog last spring. I'll leave it to you guys to figure out which one I'm talking about. This is going to be the most trite thing I've ever said, but the death of plants during difficult times is a powerful reminder of the fact that some things change permanently, while other things outlast the hard times. Plants are a symbol of both change and continuity. And this obviously isn't a revelation, but it never ceases to surprise me how often my plants can help me reframe whatever situation I'm in. I want to finish up on a lighter note. And so while there are so many plants of mine that did not survive the spring and summer, there are also so many success stories as well. Carla, my heartleaf philodendron, is my absolute keeper's pet as she makes her way around my kitchen pass-through. The offspring of Babs are doing great. They are three of among several successful propagations. Say hello to Maleficent, Hot and Juicy Anne, and Effie. After a string of constant problems with Clytemnestra, I moved her to water where she is thriving. Being aquatic really becomes her. Jessica had been so unhealthy for more than a year since I've had her, and she now finally seems to be growing a real vine. So that's it for today. I will obviously try to keep things lighter for the next few episodes. I mean, this is literally a vlog about houseplants. As always, if you have any topics you'd like to see covered, please let me know. And until next time, don't overwater your plants.